We're here on Seneca Lake, which is going to be the location of a vineyard and winery that my wife and I are putting together called Trestle 31. It's been a kind of, I guess, a dream or a goal for the last 15 years that is finally being realized. It's taken a very long time, but like all good things, it takes a little bit of time to make it work.
The property sits on 12 acres at the northern end of Seneca Lake. They've started clearing the site, and an architect is working on the plans, but meantime, they're making wine.
You really want to get your winery and your brand set up before you get the vineyard, because the vineyard is heavily capital intensive. So we're in the process of getting some Riesling bottled from 2015. It's actually just across the lake over there at Fox Run Winery. So a friend of ours owns Fox Run, Scott Osborne, and so we've been working with him to get some branding going and get our product in a bottle so we can get it out, generate some income, and that'll help finance the winery and the vineyard itself.
With ESF degrees in forestry and natural resources management, a career in forestry was intended, but he ended up in the wine business in Napa, California.
A lot of what I had learned, while specific scientifically to forestry, was critical thinking. It was massively developing your critical thinking skills and your ability to kind of view the world in a different kind of way, right? So you can look at, just trying to understand how the interconnectivity of what goes on in the forest, what creates, a tree, and then applying that, well, what does that mean to other industries? It's, well, okay, if I could just get into an industry, use that critical thinking, all the statistics and stuff that I've learned, I can really apply that to anything if I wanted to.
So now he's the finance manager of Constellation Brands, while his wife is director of winemaking at Canandaigua Wine. Coming up with a name for their winery coupled a feature already in place at the northeast corner of the property with a little bit of New York history thrown in.
We played around with a couple of different names. Originally it was going to be Cadamatre Winery, and then the vineyard name was going to be Trestle Vineyard. Our son came up with a name called Snow Shell because it was snowy and he found a snail shell and it became Snow Shell. But then we decided, let's really latch on to what the feature is. We've got it, it's right there. And then we said, well, do we just call it Trestle Winery? And we said, thinking about some of our other friends' wineries, they've incorporated historical components of what was going on the property. And so we knew that, these big tracts of land historically were given out as Revolutionary War payments. So we said, well, let's take a look at our deed and see what was ours. And so it happened to be 31. So we said, well, we've got a big trestle. That's kind of the modern world right there. We've got 31. That's a historic lot number. Let's just call it Trestle 31 and go with it. It's got a cool ring to it.
Their target date for a complete winery and vineyard is 2021.